this started in 2005. Now we're at 2010, $15 million fine, even though I didn't accuse him not making a penny for my supposed crimes. No shareholder lost a penny. I'm at like 50 million in legal fees. I'm getting divorced, going through a divorce. I'm kind of at like rock bottom. And I'm going to Taft Correctional Institution in Taft, California. And that's where I serve my term.
Wow. And great. Actually, I do have a question. How did you, or what did you do to prepare?
So that's actually a great question. So I thought about, what it was going to be like, and I thought about, how I could prepare myself. So I knew that I needed to have a power of attorney for my accountant to sign on my behalf and to pay my bills and to sign my taxes for me. I gave my mom a book list and asked her to send me a book a week. I came up with a list of friends and asked them if they would come and visit me. And I had somebody who would put money on my books so I would be able to eat and buy shoes, and you get free stuff when you go to prison, but it's not stuff you'd want to eat or wear or drinks. So I did as much research as I could to prepare myself, for the inevitable.
And then, but when you got there, the day you arrived, they put you in solitary.
Yeah, they call it the hole.
Yes.
So I show up, right, and I'm a friend of mine drove me down there, and I'm crying, and it's just like, oh my God, I mean, I can't believe this is happening to me. And I get there, and they're like, oh, who are you? I said, I'm Greg Reyes. And they stuck me in a cell, and they said, hey man, your paperwork didn't show up, so you're gonna have to be in solitary confinement until it does. And I'm like, like, are you kidding me? So they're like, no. So they took me to the hole, which is this solitary confinement, and it's like something out of a horror movie where like human beings are like kept in these tiny little windowless cells, and you're like hearing people screaming and crying and pounding on the walls, and I'm thinking this is not for me. This is not a good start.
Yeah, that is. And how long did they leave you in solitary before they found your paperwork?
I think it was like 24 hours or 48 hours. And then they released me into the general population.
Yeah. And what was that time like? Because, you wrote a book while you were in prison. You did a lot of things. You definitely used your time.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, my view of how to be successful at anything is you need to have a vision. You need to decompose it into a plan that if you execute the plan, you will achieve your desired outcome, and you need to hold yourself accountable. So, I knew that I needed to find my way, and I didn't know how I was going to do that. And I was scared to death. But within an hour of walking in to my cell block, this guy comes up to me and goes, hey, are you Greg Reyes? I said, yeah, I am. Who are you? He goes, I'm Michael Santos. I've been waiting for you. I'm like, Michael Santos? He's like, hey, this is going to be great. I'm like, oh, it's going to be great? It's like, no, this is going to be great. You're going to make the best of this. I'm here to help you get through this. And he was like my mentor there. And I dropped like 100 pounds, and I ran a couple marathons, and I wrote a book, and I read 70 books, and played chess at night to keep my brain fresh. And I really came out of there strong, and that's what Michael advocated for in prison, and that's what he's advocated for since he got out. An amazing guy, that basically got multiple degrees in prison and wrote best-selling books and set incredible goals for himself.
And who was Michael Santos? Like, what was he in for?
Michael is an interesting case, and the way he'll tell the story is that he's a Cuban guy. I'm half Cuban. He grew up in either Seattle or Washington. I can't remember, but his dad had a construction company, and it was right about the time that Scarface was a popular movie. And he'd go to the clubs, and you'd see these guys with these really good-looking women, and he said to his buddies, like, how does that guy end up with this girl? He's like, oh, he's a drug dealer. He's like, drug dealer? What's that? And he said, look, you buy a kilo of cocaine for $5,000, you sell it for 15, and you give it to the chicks, and they think you're really amazing. He's like, shit, I can do that. So he basically ended up using his dad's line of credit, and he ended up getting like 50 years to life back when the federal system, in fact, had parole. So he was kind of the Scarface poster boy. And Michael managed to turn himself into an amazing human being through that process.
Yeah, no, that is remarkable.